The weight of the camera case resting on the passenger seat seemed heavier than its contents. It held a Nikon Z6, a meticulously chosen piece of craftsmanship I'd spent weeks researching. It was a graduation gift for my daughter, Lily, 18, valedictorian of her high school, and bound for a state university with a full academic scholarship. Driving the familiar 20-minute route to my ex-wife's house, a surge of pride tightened my chest. I'm a civil engineer, my life rooted in blueprints, support beams, and the unseen framework that holds everything together. That's how I approached fatherhood, especially after the divorce. When Claire and I parted ways when Lily was 6, I vowed my daughter's world wouldn't collapse because of it. I was the every other weekend dad, the Tuesday evening dinner dad, the one who never missed a child support payment. I was the bedrock, steady, dependable, often unnoticed. The camera was for Lily's photography minor, a passion that made her eyes spark with excitement, a flame I wanted to fuel. This wasn't just another expense, it was a gift that recognized the artist she was becoming. A memory flickered, Lily, age 9, trembling backstage at a violin recital, her face pale with nerves. I crouched beside her, the scent of musty curtains and polished wood in the air. I didn't have Claire's knack for comforting words. Instead, I pulled a folded schematic from my pocket. "See this bridge?" I murmured, tracing the intricate lines. "It looks massive, but it's held up by countless small bolts and hidden supports. Each one does its part, and the whole thing stands strong. You're one of those strong pieces, Lily. You've practiced, you've prepared. Your foundation is solid. You've got this." She glanced at the diagram, then at me, and a bit of her fear melted away. She played beautifully that night. That's who I was. I built foundations. The most significant was the $529 college savings plan I started when Lily was born. In my budgeting software, I called it the Lily Fund. For 18 years, every paycheck contributed to it. I drove a 12-year-old Toyota Camry, not because I couldn't upgrade, but because a new car meant $100 less for her fund. I skipped lavish trips, repaired my own deck. The result? A Fidelity account with $92,156, enough to cover her dorm, textbooks, and anything her scholarship didn't. It was my quiet, 18-year monument to her future. My thoughts drifted to her stepfather, Mark. Claire married him 5 years ago. He sold real estate, carrying himself like a tech mogul. He leased a new Audi every 2 years and posted endlessly about his deals and successes. At a family barbecue last summer, he'd flashed a new Omega watch, then asked about my Camry with a condescending smirk. Claire had darted to the kitchen, muttering about needing more drinks. Mark wasn't awful, just obsessed with appearances, polished, visible things. I lived in a world of steel and concrete, the stuff meant to stay hidden. I hoped Lily saw the difference. The backyard of Claire and Mark's leased home, in the priciest neighborhood naturally, was alive with energy. The scent of grilled chicken mingled with freshly mown grass. Fairy lights strung between trees cast a soft glow over the 50 or so guests, family, friends, teachers. I grabbed a soda, feeling a rare sense of calm. Despite our differences, we were here for Lily. This was a good day. I was chatting with one of Lily's professors, who raved about her discipline, when a spoon tapped against a wine glass, cutting through the noise. Mark stood on the patio, his arm around Lily, his realtor's grin wide. "Everyone, a moment please," he called, his voice amplified by a Bluetooth speaker. "Thank you for celebrating Lily's incredible milestone. As her stepdad, I'm beyond proud of the woman she's become." He paused, then pulled out a set
of car keys, the Toyota logo glinting in the light.
"Lily," he announced, "these are for the brand new Toyota Corolla in the driveway. It's yours." The crowd erupted. Lily squealed, throwing her arms around Mark, bouncing with joy. Everyone clapped, cheered, whistled. I joined in, smiling genuinely. It was a generous gift, and she deserved it. A small part of me, the part planning to give her the camera, felt a pang. A camera couldn't rival a car. A heads-up would have been nice, but I brushed it aside. This was her day. Then it shifted. Lily, glowing, took the microphone. "Thank you, Mark.
I can't believe this."
Her voice trembled with emotion, carrying across the yard. She turned, her eyes locking on mine. I smiled, expecting a nod, a shared moment. "You know," she said, her gaze steady, Growing up, I always wondered what it'd be like to have a dad who truly cared about me.
The air froze.
My stomach churned. Eyes turned from her to me. I kept smiling, thinking she was just caught up in the moment. Someone who'd make big gestures, show me I was important, she continued, holding up the keys like a trophy. Then, her voice sharp and deliberate, she said, "My stepdad got me a car.
My real dad never did anything like this.
Now I know what it feels like to have someone who actually wants to invest in my future." The silence was deafening, a crushing weight. 50 people, moments ago festive, were now witnesses to my public shaming. My cousin Tom gripped his drink tightly. A teacher stared at her feet. Mark stood there, his arm still around Lily, a smug smile spreading. Claire beside them looked away, her face ashen. This was no accident. It was a performance, orchestrated by Mark, delivered by my daughter. In one moment, 18 years, every scraped knee, every homework session, every sacrifice, the silent foundation, was declared worthless. I was erased. I could have shouted, listed every payment, every school event, the $92,000 fund.
Instead, he exhaled slowly, my smile steady. He wove through the silent crowd, who parted like he was invisible.
I climbed the patio steps, faced Lily, and hugged her. She stiffened. "Congratulations, honey," I whispered, my voice even. "I'm so proud of you." Then I turned, walked through the yard, out the gate, and didn't look back.
My Camry rumbled to life, the party fading behind me.
For a few blocks, I felt nothing, a hollow numbness. My hands were steady, my breathing calm, as if someone else were driving. Then the images hit, Lily's face, not joyful but calculated, Mark's triumphant smirk, Claire's averted eyes. "Invest in my future," she'd said. He gave her a car loan. I gave her 18 years of savings for a debt-free start.
The absurdity made me log, a harsh, foreign sound in the car.
The numbness faded, replaced by a pain so sharp it was physical, a weight on my chest. This wasn't just an insult, it was an obliteration. My steady, quiet love was deemed worthless against a shiny gift. They hadn't just chosen him, they'd erased me. And Lily had wielded the blade. By the highway, the pain hardened into something cold and clear, resolve. An engineer's resolve. When a structure fails, you don't keep reinforcing it. You condemn it. You withdraw support. Lily was 18, an adult. She'd made a deliberate choice, delivered a verdict. She'd chosen her father, her investor. That choice demanded a response. I pulled into my driveway, the house dark. I dropped the camera case with a thud, unable to look at it. In the kitchen, I poured a bourbon and called my brother, Ethan. He answered on the first ring. "Matt, I just left." "You okay?" he asked. "I'm home," I said, my voice flat. What the hell was that? I wanted to yank that mic away. And Mark, grinning like he'd closed $1 million deal. "He did close one," I said, sipping the bourbon. "He got what he wanted." That wasn't a speech. "Matt," Ethan said, his lawyer's mind sharp. "That was a takedown. They used her because they knew you wouldn't fight back against your kid." "She's not a kid," I said softly. "She's 18. She chose." A pause. "So what's your move?" he asked. I stared into the dark street, the street I'd chosen to stay near her. "I'm honoring her choice," I said. "Completely. I'm giving her what she wants, a world where Mark invests in her future, and I'm the dad who did nothing." Sleep didn't come. I sat in the dark until dawn, the bourbon glass empty. The emotional storm had passed, leaving cold clarity. No anger, no tears, just a decision. On Monday, I took a personal day. At the desk where I'd helped Lily with physics over video calls, I began dismantling the foundation. First, I logged into my Fidelity account. The screen showed $92,156.47, 18 years of overtime, skipped dinners, calculated sacrifices. A tower built for her, brick by brick. With a few clicks, I transferred it all to my personal investment account. The confirmation appeared, transfer processing. The tower was gone. It felt like losing a limb, but also a strange freedom. The weight of silent provision was lifted. Next, I called my car insurance provider. "I'd like to remove a driver and vehicle from my policy," I said, giving Lily's name and the details of her old beater, the one I'd bought for her to practice driving. The agent was brisk, efficient. No emotion, just business. Then I called Verizon. Same calm voice. I removed Lily's line from my plan. Will she set up her own account? The rep asked. I assume so, I said. Talk to her or her stepfather, Mark. I gave his name. Responsibility needed a target. Each step severed the practical ties, the infrastructure of support she'd never noticed. She thought fatherhood was a flashy car and a speech. She was about to learn what it really meant.
Mark wanted to be the hero, the provider.
Fine. He could handle the insurance, the phone bills, the maintenance, the invisible work. He wanted the spotlight. Now he had the stage. A week of silence followed. I worked, designed supports for a new library, and came home to a quiet house. No word from Claire, Lily, or Mark. It was an eerie calm, the quiet before a reckoning. Ethan's words lingered. Nothing's free with guys like him. I couldn't resist tugging at the thread. During a lunch break, I checked the Toyota dealership's website. They had a sign and drive promotion, big gestures, small budgets. I smirked. On a whim, I stopped by the dealership after work, posing as a curious buyer. I chatted with a salesman, mentioning my cousin got a Corolla as a graduation gift. Oh, the silver one? He asked. Sold one last week. Awesome car. Big surprise, I said. Her stepdad got it for her. What's a gift like that cost? He chuckled. He didn't buy it outright. Co-signed. Most do for their kids. Got her a solid rate though. He winked.
Co-signé.
I asked. Yeah, her stepdad's credit was decent but tight. The real key was her financial guarantor, her dad, I think. Great income, strong credit history. With that backing, the bank greenlit it easily. The world shifted. My blood turned to ice. Her dad. Me. Her dad. I asked, voice steady. Yeah, listed as a financial reference to guarantee her payments. Didn't even need to call him. His credit score was stellar, auto-verified. Fury surged, cold and precise. They'd used my name, my stability, to secure the loan for their spectacle. This wasn't just humiliation, it was fraud. 2 days later, the bank called. Mr. Matthew Larson, we're following up on a loan for Lily Larson, where you're listed as guarantor. I took a breath. I'm happy to clarify, I said. First, I never authorized my name as a guarantor. Second, I will not, now or ever, support Lily Larson's financial obligations. Those belong to her stepfather, Mark Reynolds. Direct all questions to him. His finances should match his bold promises. Silence, then frantic typing. You're withdrawing your backing? The rep asked. It was never there, I said. It was a lie. Check your paperwork. I hung up. Their house of cards was collapsing. 9 days of silence followed. Then Claire called, her voice a furious wail. They took her car. A tow truck came and repossessed it. The bank said you refused to support her. I leaned back, staring at the skyline. That's right, Claire, I said calmly. It seems to make you matter, she screamed. It was her graduation gift. Let's be clear, I said, patience gone. First, I didn't do anything. I told the bank the truth. My name was used without consent. That's fraud. Second, it wasn't a gift. It was a loan Lily signed for, one you and Mark couldn't get without my credit. Third, Lily chose her new investor, in front of 50 people. I just made it official. You're cruel, she spat, punishing her for one dumb remark. Not one remark, I said. A calculated attack on my character. You let Mark use our daughter to stroke his ego. Actions have consequences. This is one. I hung up, feeling a deep calm. But the fight wasn't over. That night, Claire's brother Greg posted a melodramatic rant on Instagram, not naming me but calling out a vindictive ex who stole his daughter's joy over jealousy. It was flooded with sad emojis. I ignored it until Ethan commented, for accuracy, the gift was a loan the stepdad couldn't secure without fraudulently using her real father's credit. That father funded her life for 18 years and saved over $90,000 for her. Mark called. I let it go to voicemail, then answered his second try. What did you tell the bank? He demanded, voice tight.
The truth, Mark, he said.
That I didn't approve my name on your loan.
Simple.
You ruined this for her, he snapped. Couldn't let her have one nice thing.
He looked sharp and cold. Any sting?
A $350 monthly payment neither of you can afford? You called it a gift while tying debt to her name, using my credit to pull it off. That's not a gift, it's a scam.
Silence.
His tone shifted to desperation. I can't cover that payment long term. My credit's maxed. I thought she'd get a job, take it over. Then you shouldn't have signed, I said.
You wanted the hero escape. Heroes don't dodge the bill.
He sighed. What about the college fund? Claire said you took it. My money, my account, I said. I moved it. Lily said she has you to invest in her future. That was the point, right? I didn't mean to replace you, he stammered. You didn't have to, I said. You let her do it while you grinned. You wanted the title, now you've got the job.
He hung up, feeling no sympathy.
He hadn't just humiliated me, he'd exploited me. The next day, Lily called. My heart clenched at her name on the screen. I answered after 4 rings. Dad, she sobbed, her voice small.
Why did you take my college money?
The question stung, raw in its ignorance. Lily, I said, I moved my money from my account. The fund I built for 18 years. The one from the dad who, you said, never did anything. I didn't mean it like that, she cried. Then how? I asked, voice low. You looked at me, Lily.
You wanted me to feel every word.
Explain how you meant it. Silence, just her shaky breaths. I was excited about the car, she whispered. The car that's gone because Mark couldn't pay for it, I said. The one he got by using my name without permission. That car.
More silence.
I didn't know, she said. I'm sorry. It sounded real, but it wasn't enough. I said weary, Mark set up a show with money he didn't have, using my stability. You helped him humiliate me. Now he can't deliver, and he's hiding.
I'm not punishing you. I'm holding you accountable.
You chose him. He's your investor now. He asked me to wear the blue dress he adored, saying he wanted the night to be unforgettable. I was moved by his effort to create a romantic evening. 2 days before Valentine's Day, Derek texted about a surprise he'd been working on. My friends wondered if it might be a proposal, though I tried to keep my expectations in check. Still, everything seemed to point that way. The upscale restaurant, his recent secrecy, the hints from his family. Valentine's Day came. Derek suggested meeting at the restaurant instead of driving together, citing a possible late work meeting but insisting we keep our reservation. I agreed, excited yet nervous about what the night might hold. I arrived at La Rosa 15 minutes early. The host escorted me to a prominent table in the center, surrounded by other couples. Derek arrived promptly, ordering wine right away, seeming both jittery and thrilled. Dinner was perfect, our conversation flowing easily as we reminisced about our time together and shared future aspirations. After the main course, Derek grew noticeably anxious, subtly checking his pocket. A nearby couple's engagement sparked applause across the restaurant. Derek watched with an odd focus, then took a deep breath. My heart raced. When dessert was served, Derek stood abruptly. Everyone, he declared loudly, I have something to say. He knelt beside me. The room fell silent. Phones emerged to capture what everyone assumed was a proposal. The staff paused, smiling in anticipation. A whisper nearby, he's proposing. Derek took my hand. Looking into my eyes, he said clearly, I'm tired of pretending you're worth my love. You're pathetic. The restaurant went deathly quiet. Derek stood and continued, I've wasted 3 years trying to change you. I'm finished. He grabbed his jacket and left. A server approached with our $374 bill. Stunned, I left the